The story begins in a dense forest, where a man is running like a madman, hoping that somehow he might find a way out. But the forest is so thick that no exit can be seen anywhere. The man keeps moving forward, guided only by the sun. However, the sun is slowly setting. Still, he doesn't stop running. As he runs, he reaches a point where he sees a signboard. It reads, "Point of no return." Along with that, the number 108 is written on it. Seeing this, he becomes even more terrified. Gradually, darkness spreads and an eerie fear fills the entire forest. Suddenly, all the birds fly away at once. Even after traveling many miles, the man doesn't see a single wild animal in the forest. Whatever it was that lived there, even the animals seemed afraid of it. Out of fear, the man starts running even faster. After hours of running, he suddenly stops, and despair appears on his face, because in front of him is the same signboard again, 108, point of no return. Now he realizes that no matter how much he runs, he cannot escape this forest. So he starts looking for a place to hide, but he can't find any safe spot. Finally, he climbs a tree, but suddenly a branch breaks, and he falls from a great height to the ground. He is badly injured, with deep wounds all over his body. Just before he loses consciousness, the ground begins to shake, and strange growling sounds are heard. Hearing those sounds, his breath gets stuck in his throat. Then, suddenly, something drags him away. We don't see who or what it is, but we hear his painful screams. 6 days after this incident, we are shown a girl named Mina in the city. She works in a bird shop. One day, her boss comes and asks her to deliver a golden parrot to a zoo far outside the city. Mina agrees and sets out to deliver the parrot. She sits in her car, sets the zoo's location on her mobile, and begins her journey. After leaving the city, she notices a board with many missing persons' photos on it, showing that several people have disappeared from that area. But Mina doesn't pay much attention and continues driving. To save time, she takes a shortcut through a forest. Soon she reaches the middle of the forest, the same place where we earlier saw the man disappear. Now Mina is badly trapped. She checks her phone map, but there's no signal. Even her car radio stops working. She tries to turn back, but can't figure out the way out anymore. After a while, her car also breaks down. Mina gets out of the car and sees the same signboard in front of her, point of no return. She doesn't understand what's happening. Holding the parrot's cage, she walks around looking for help, but there is no sign of anyone. She returns to the spot where she had parked her car, only to find that her car has disappeared. She becomes extremely worried. She thinks maybe she has come to the wrong place, because every part of the forest looks the same. Now darkness starts to deepen. Suddenly, just like before, all the birds fly away from the trees. Mina feels scared as the ground begins to shake violently. She senses someone's presence nearby. Then, she sees a shadow at a distance. She runs after it but finds no one there. Suddenly, she sees an old woman running. Mina chases her, asking for help, but the woman doesn't stop and keeps running. Once again, the old woman suddenly disappears. As Mina moves forward searching for her, she sees a large room-like structure deep in the forest. The old woman opens the door of that room and says, "If you want to stay alive, come inside quickly." Hearing this, Mina runs toward the room without thinking. As soon as Mina enters, the old woman locks the door. Inside, Mina sees a strange room with a huge mirror on one wall. Along with the old woman, there are 2 other people there. Nervously, Mina asks where she is. The old woman replies, "We call this place the Coop. My name is Madeline. This girl is Sierra, and this boy is Daniel." Madeline tells Mina that this is not the time to talk and asks her to stand with them in front of the mirror because someone is about to come to see them. Mina asks who is coming, but Madeline doesn't answer. Strange noises start coming from outside. Frightened, Mina asks what those sounds are. Sierra tells her, "We call them the Watchers. They watch us from the other side of the mirror. We can't see them, but they see us. Every night after sunset, they come and keep watching us until sunrise." Soon, noises are heard from the other side of the mirror. Mina asks what kind of noise it is. Madeline says the Watchers are happy that you've arrived. They're clapping for you. Mina is completely confused and just wants to get out of this place as soon as possible. She hasn't seen these so-called Watchers, and neither has anyone else. The night passes, and when morning comes, they all step outside. Madeline explains that the Watchers only come out at night, and during the day they are free to move around in the forest. Mina spends the whole night thinking that as soon as morning comes, she will escape this forest, so she immediately starts searching for a way out. Madeline tells the others not to stop her, as if she already knows that Mina won't be able to escape and will surely return. Before Mina leaves, Madeline warns her, "Your decision is not a good one. There is no way out of this forest. Before nightfall, we must return to that house. If you're late, you'll lose your life." Mina doesn't listen to anyone. Taking her parrot, she moves forward quickly. After going a little ahead, she again sees the point of no return sign. She feels scared but doesn't lose courage. Using the sun as her guide, she keeps walking in its direction. But she still fails to escape the forest. Eventually, the path ends. She finds herself standing on top of a mountain beyond which there is nothing but endless forest. Disheartened, she sits down. Suddenly, someone places a hand on her shoulder. Frightened, she turns around and sees that it is Madeline. Madeline comforts her and says, "You're not the only one who tried to escape and failed. We also lost, just like you, and stayed here. There is no way out." Madeline then takes Mina toward the forest and says, "This forest is a hunter, and we are its prey. If you want to stay alive, stay with us." She shows Mina many point-of-no-return signboards placed in a circular boundary all around the forest, and in the center of that circle is their room. Madeline explains, "These signs are about half a day's distance from our house. If you go beyond them, it becomes almost impossible to return. So whenever you see them, never ignore them." Mina asks, "Who created all this?" Madeline replies, "It was created by a professor, but no one has ever seen him till now." Night falls again, and they all return inside the house. Every night, the watchers come to see them. That night, a girl named Yara dances in front of them and says that this is what they like. It's not that the four of them have to just stand there every night in front of the watchers. They can do whatever they want, except they must not turn their backs toward them. If they do, the watchers become extremely angry. At night, their only problem is the watchers. But during the day, they face many difficulties too. Every day, they hunt something in the forest to fill their stomachs and survive. The next day, Sierra and Mina go hunting in the forest. Mina asks Sierra what the watchers actually want. Sierra replies, "I don't really know. But Madeline says that they watch us, observe us, and if we ever see a watcher, we will go insane because they look extremely terrifying." Sierra then shows Mina a pit and says that there are many such pits in the forest. During the day, all the watchers stay inside these pits, and at night they come out. They cannot come out in daylight because sunlight burns their skin. Sierra tells Mina that she came to this forest with her husband 5 months ago, and since then they have been trapped here. 6 days ago, her husband went out to look for a way through the forest. She hopes he will return and safely take everyone out of here. Here we realize that Sierra's husband is actually the same man we saw at the beginning of the movie, the one who was dragged away in the forest and is now dead. While talking, the two of them return near the house. There, Madeline explains 3 rules to Mina for staying alive. First, never open the door at night. Second, at night, never turn your back toward the mirror. Third, during the day, never go near the pits, and stay in the light as much as possible. As long as you follow these rules, you will stay alive, Madeline says. But Mina doesn't fully trust her. That night, Mina wants to learn the truth about the watchers, so she presses her ear against the mirror, trying to hear something. When she hears nothing, she starts thinking that Madeline's stories about the watchers are fake, so she breaks the rules and sleeps with her back turned toward the mirror. This angers the watchers. They begin banging hard on the mirror. The noise wakes Madeline, and she quickly tells Mina to stand facing the mirror. Only then do the watchers calm down. This means that when humans turn their backs to the watchers, they take it as an insult. That night also passes. The next day, Mina goes hunting with Daniel. She asks him if he has ever seen a watcher. Daniel replies, "I've never seen one either. And anyone who does see a watcher never survives." Mina tells Daniel, "I think all of this is just a story made up by Madeline to trap us here. We should go and check those pits. Maybe we'll find a way out of this forest." Daniel is also fed up with living there and wants to escape somehow. So he agrees with Mina, and they both reach one of the pits. Mina ties a rope around herself and climbs down into the pit. Daniel holds the other end so that if anything happens, he can pull her back up quickly. Mina reaches the bottom of the pit where she finds many belongings left by people, human items scattered everywhere. She gathers them. All these things belong to people who had fallen prey to the watchers in the forest. Using the rope, Daniel pulls up a camera, a bicycle, and other useful items. Mina waits below for Daniel to throw the rope back so she can climb up. Before Mina can get out, she hears movement inside the pit, as if someone is coming. She urgently calls out to Daniel to throw the rope down. At that moment, a watcher's hand reaches out to grab her, but Mina is standing in sunlight. When the watcher's hand comes into the sunlight, it starts burning. Just then, Daniel throws the rope down, and Mina quickly climbs out. Mina is completely terrified. They take all the recovered items back to their safe house. There, Madeline asks, "Where did you get all this stuff from?" They lie and say they found it in the forest. Madeline has lived in this forest for a very long time. She knows that these items didn't come from the forest, but from a pit. She asks Mina, "Tell me, what did you see inside the pit?" But Mina doesn't tell her anything. They are very excited because tonight they hope to finally see the watchers. The camera Mina found in the pit might make it possible. Daniel somehow manages to connect the camera to a TV so that they can watch the watchers on the screen. Madeline keeps warning them that what they're doing is wrong, but neither of them listens. That night, they sit waiting for the watchers so they can see them, but even after a long time, no watcher comes to see them. Instead, something strange is about to happen. They are busy talking when suddenly someone knocks on the door. They quickly look at the TV and see human legs standing outside. Whoever is outside starts speaking in the voice of Sierra's husband and asks them to open the door quickly. Tiara thinks her husband has finally found a way out and come back to save them all. She rushes to open the door, but Madeline steps in and stops her. She says, "I know that your husband is not outside." Madeline knows that in the darkness of night no human can reach this house. Sierra doesn't believe Madeline and still tries to open the door. Then Madeline says, "He's trying to trap you. Test him. Ask him something that only you or your husband would know." Sierra asks the person outside about a book, something her husband should know about. But when the person outside gives no answer, they realize that it is a watcher. When they refuse to open the door, the watcher outside smashes the camera that had been placed there. From this we learn that the watchers can also transform themselves into human form. The watchers become extremely angry at this. They start banging violently on the mirror, causing a large crack to appear in it. But Madeline acts wisely and lines everyone up in front of the mirror. This calms the watchers down a little, and they finally leave. Now Mina tells Madeline the truth, that they had stolen all that stuff from the pit. Hearing this, Madeline becomes furious and says that they have broken the second rule as well. The next morning, Madeline takes all the items brought from the pit and throws them back into the same pit, which slightly eases the watcher's anger. However, after that, they begin to see very strange things in the forest, and Daniel is affected the most. Daniel suddenly starts getting very angry over small things. On the other hand, Sierra, who had been hoping that her husband was alive and would return to save her, now realizes that he will never come back. She breaks down completely from inside and decides to end her life by jumping into one of the watchers' pits because she no longer has any reason to live. Just as she is about to do it, Mina arrives and saves her. Meanwhile, we see Daniel looking at Madeline in a strange way. In a fit of rage, he ties Madeline to a tree. Daniel says, "I won't follow this old woman's rules anymore. From now on, only my rules will be followed." Night is about to fall, so Daniel runs toward the room, and Sierra runs after him. Mina stays back to free Madeline by untying the ropes. But Daniel takes Tiara inside the room and locks the door from the inside, leaving Mina and Madeline outside for the watchers. Mina and Madeline beg Daniel to open the door. They plead with him again and again, but Daniel refuses. Darkness spreads all around, and it's time for the watchers to arrive. Left with no choice, they hide under a thick tree to save their lives. Soon they hear the growling sounds of the watchers. At this moment, along with Mina and Madeline, we also get a glimpse of them. They are tall, thin, and terrifying. One by one, they come out of their pits and head toward the safe room to watch the humans. When they realize that Mina and Madeline are not there, they start searching the forest to hunt and eat them. When the watchers move away, Mina and Madeline take advantage of the moment and rush back to the safe room, crying and begging Daniel to open the door. This time, Daniel's heart softens, and he finally opens it for them. Once inside, Madeline first scolds Daniel. Then she makes all of them stand in front of the mirror and tells them some truths about the Watchers. Madeline says, "By now, we've broken many rules. I don't think the Watchers will forgive us this time. I want to tell you the truth about them. When I first came here, I saw something that shocked me. I saw my own duplicate. It was actually a Watcher trying to take my form. Its eyes and hair weren't perfect, but it was trying." Mina asks, "What exactly are these Watchers?" Madeline replies, "They are creatures called fairies. Long ago, they used to live among humans. Fairies were magical beings with wings, but over time, humans became afraid of their powers, so humans decided to destroy them. Humans were greater in number, so the fairies couldn't fight back. The humans imprisoned them in a huge pit in this forest and cursed them to remain trapped there forever. The fairies stayed imprisoned for hundreds of years, but over time, they dug tunnels underground and found ways to come out. Today, those same fairies come out of the pits in the form of Watchers. Because they lived underground for so many centuries, they lost their wings and most of their magical powers. They also became sensitive to sunlight, but they still have the power to change their shape." Daniel then asks Madeline, "What do these Watchers want from us, and why do they watch us every night?" Madeline explains, "The Watchers want to leave this forest and live among humans again, but they can't live among humans in their true form. That's why they've kept us here. To observe us, copy our forms, and learn our ways, so they can live among humans." While Madeline is saying all this, suddenly, all the Watchers return. When they realize that Mina and Madeline have come back into the room, they become furious and try to break the door. The four of them drag a table and place it against the door to stop the Watchers from breaking in, but the Watchers are very strong, and they know that soon the door will give way. Death seems right in front of their eyes. Then they notice that while dragging the table, the carpet has been pushed aside. When they remove the carpet, they see a large iron hatch underneath. They quickly open it and discover a huge bunker below. They all rush inside the bunker and shut the iron hatch above them. They are shocked that such a bunker existed there and they never even knew about it. Inside the bunker there are many facilities, food supplies for thousands of days, a computer, and many other necessities. Mina wants to know who built this place, so she turns on the computer. The computer contains a lot of saved data. When they open it, they learn that the entire place was built by Professor Martin. The professor knew about these creatures and wanted to research the Watchers. That's why he built this bunker. To lure people here, he tempted them with money to work for him. At night, he would leave the workers upstairs in the room while he himself hid down here in the bunker. Then the Watchers would come and eat those people. In another video, Dr. Martin explains that during his research he discovered a very special fairy, one that could come out of the pits even in daylight. He says that this Watcher could take the perfectly exact form of a little girl, so perfectly that no one could recognize it. It was very gentle and didn't kill Dr. Martin. Instead, Dr. Martin brought it here. Then the professor turns the camera to the other side. Then they see that the Professor has imprisoned that creature, which had taken the form of a little girl, inside a cage. No one knows what kind of experiment he was planning to perform on her. The computer contains many videos, and in each one, something new is explained. Mina only wants to know what finally happened, so she plays the last video. In that video, she sees that the professor is about to kill both himself and the fairy. Before dying, he reveals the escape route for the people trapped in the forest. He says that in the evening, the direction in which the birds fly is the direction they must run to escape the forest. In his recorded message, he also says that if anyone manages to get out of this forest, they should go to the university and destroy all of his research. "I made a huge mistake by coming here," he says. After that, the professor goes upstairs, and then 2 gunshots are heard. They understand that the professor first killed the fairy and then shot himself. That night, all 4 of them are very happy because they have finally found a way to escape the forest. The next morning, when they come out of the bunker, they see that their safe house has been completely destroyed by the Watchers. Now they must leave the forest today itself, or they will die because at night they will have no place left to hide. They begin moving in the direction to escape the forest. The birds the professor talked about would normally fly in the evening, but they have to get out before evening arrives. So Mina frees the parrot she has with her. The direction in which it flies, they start walking in that same direction. Along the way, they come across a grave. Seeing it, Madeline says that once these beings lived together with humans, but humans treated them badly, betrayed them, and trapped them in these forests before leaving. After traveling for many hours, they reach a river. There they find one of Professor Martin's boats, and they are overjoyed. But their happiness is short-lived, because darkness has already begun to fall, and it's time for the watchers to come. Before they can get into Dr. Martin's boat and escape, they hear someone calling for help from behind. When they turn around, they see Sierra's husband, badly injured and shouting for help. The others have already boarded the boat, so Daniel goes alone to help him. Daniel starts pulling Sierra's husband toward the boat. But then, from the boat, they see that the one Daniel is helping is not a human at all, but a watcher who, right before their eyes, takes Daniel's form. They are helpless. The watcher kills Daniel. They know that the watchers cannot cross this river. Finally, they themselves cross the river and reach the city. But the real twist of the story comes after this. After reaching the city, the three of them go their separate ways. A few days later, Mina goes to the university, just as Dr. Martin had instructed, to destroy all his research data. Before she deletes the data, she finds a tape recorder there. From it, Mina learns a new secret. Thousands of years ago, when humans and fairies lived together, they even used to marry each other. The children born from a human-fairy union had traits of both and were called halflings. These halflings had a special ability. They were so skilled at shape-shifting that they could even take the form of a dead human. The professor believed that when humans imprisoned the fairies in the forest pits, the halflings secretly stayed among humans by changing their forms, and that even today they still exist among people in some form. While investigating in the professor's office, Mina finds some photographs that shock her. In the pictures, the woman standing with the professor is none other than Madeline. In reality, Madeline was Professor M. Artin's wife. Mina is confused as to why Madeline never told them this. To share this confusion, Mina goes to Sierra and tells her, "The Madeline we met in the forest was actually Professor Martin's wife, but she didn't tell us the truth because she herself wasn't human. She was a shape-shifting fairy. When I researched, I found that many years ago, the professor's wife Madeline died of cancer." Hearing this, Sierra says, "Then who was the Madeline who stayed with us all that time?" Mina replies, "Now I understand everything." Mina explains that Professor Martin was deeply heartbroken by his wife's death and wanted her back at any cost. When he learned about the shape-shifting fairies, he captured the one who had come to him in the perfect form of a little girl. He showed her his wife's photo and forced the fairy to become Madeline, because that fairy was different from the others. She could even come out during the day. Mina says, "I've called Madeline here. We must somehow send her back to the forest." Just then, a car arrives. When Mina sees the person who steps out, her breath catches in her throat. It is Tiara. That means the one who had been with Mina until now was actually Madeline, who had taken Sierra's form. As soon as Sierra enters the house, Madeline changes into the form of Sierra's husband and knocks her unconscious. Mina asks Madeline, "What do you really want?" Madeline angrily replies, "I am the most different of all fairies. Since childhood, the others mocked me. They never let me live with them because I was different. I was left all alone in that forest, and I wanted to come out and live among people. Then one day the professor came into that forest. He imprisoned me in a cage. He told me that if I took the form of his wife, he would take me out of the forest. I believed him. He taught me everything about Madeline. But later that deceitful professor tried to kill me. Before he could kill me, I killed him instead. You humans were never worthy of trust, and never will be. Now you know my truth, so you must die too. After killing you, I will live among humans in your form." Saying this, Madeline takes Mina's form and starts strangling her. Then Mina says, "Didn't the professor ever tell you why you can come out in daylight? The truth is, you are a hybrid, half human and half fairy. That's why you can live among both humans and fairies. I know what it feels like to be alone in the world. But you are not the only halfling. There are others like you too, living among humans in some form or another." Hearing this truth, Madeline's body suddenly begins to change back into her real form. Before Mina's eyes, wings grow out of her back. Then she leaves Mina there and flies away. A few weeks later, we see Mina living with her sister. She tells her sister that she feels the fairy might still be following her. Her sister tells her not to be afraid and says that nothing like that will happen. But in the final scene, we see a little girl standing outside Mina's house. She is none other than Madeline, now living in that form in the human world. And with this, the story ends. If you liked this video, please subscribe to our channel and don't forget to like the video.